Welcome into DC On Screen, a podcast about the DC Universe properties on film and television. Your guide to those things, as I've said in previous episodes.
You know where you are.
I'm your host, David C. Robertson. This, the man who just spoke, Jason Goss.
Hello again.
This is a little bonus episode for this week. We wanted to talk about Justice League action. We have seen the first, I guess, technically 4 episodes.
Yeah. One-ish story.
The Shazam
4-ish
Slam
episodes.
situation.
Mm-hmm. Which is brave by itself, starting out with Shazam.
Right?
It's kind of fitting, though. Like, they're going to start out with a not completely well-known hero, which means you're already talking about, like, yeah, we're going to go to the well on these guys. Mm-hmm. And you're starting out with someone who's both simultaneously an adult and a kid.
Yeah.
Which fits, I think, the range of people who can watch the show. Right.
And within this episode, or these 4 episodes, they kind of run the gamut on notable people. I'll admit, at the end we get a glimpse of Green Lantern.
GL.
I missed the Flash here.
Yeah, but he's going to show up, obviously, and I feel like he's going to be fun here, like everybody else. Mm-hmm. I mean, they even made Wonder Woman funny.
They did.
Not known for her sense of humor.
Her hair kind of looks like she kind of fell out of an episode of Jim and the Holograms.
Yeah, it reminded me of Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. I forget the name of that girl, but that cut.
Yeah. I love that movie.
I do like
Edgar
that movie.
Wright, man. Mm-hmm.
Edgar, goddamn right.
Bring it back. So, let's do the other books. Anyway, Justice League action. I was listening to the Squadcast, and Scott was saying it was a mixture of Justice League Unlimited and Batman the Brave and the Bold. That was exactly what I was thinking.
Perfect. I think he nailed it.
Yeah. So that's pretty on point. If you're looking for a recap for this episode, we did not do one. Basically, Black Adam pops in, causes some shit, sets free the DJinn.
Spoilers.
That's all we're doing in these 4 episodes is tracking down these different DJinn.
Yeah. And in the course of it, like Parasite gets hit by some sort of alien meteor, and then ends up getting the Hall of Justice destroyed. Mm-hmm. Somewhere after that, Batman gets possessed by.
Well, the Hall of Justice got destroyed by Uful. And
it was in the Batman one. Yeah, that's right. There's like a couple of, like, I don't know, possessed Batman, which is like, kind of a lot of fun.
Possessed Batman was a lot of fun.
And
not entirely different than normal Batman.
Not completely. No.
When there's a bit where
those guys have stuff in common.
Green Arrow is like hanging out in the Batmobile with possessed Batman and just rattling and clearly annoying possessed Batman who just decides
something about
to eject
him. Are you worried about like the scratches? Because I'll totally buff those out.
I'll pay somebody to
buff that. Very GA.
And Batman possessed Batman just very slyly hits the eject button and shoots him out of the Batmobile.
Yeah.
And I imagine that real Batman would have done.
He's probably fantasized about it many times at least.
Yeah. So, Kevin Conroy was correct. Kevin Conroy's Batman operates perfectly in any setting, really.
Yeah.
Like, whether the Justice League is silly, whether the tone of the show is silly, whether it's serious, whether it's just grim as hell, like the Arkham games, he's just Batman everywhere.
Yeah. I mean, that man has made me cry on the animated series, Justice League Unlimited, all that stuff. Like, it just brought me to tears. And then here, he's actually gotten jokes out of me. Mm-hmm. Like, there were laughs coming from me. Mm-hmm. That's not supposed to happen when Batman's on screen.
And he's...
Except for Brave and the Bold.
And again... Conroy's right. He was talking about, like, in that situation, all his Batman would really have to do is raise an eyebrow to get a laugh out of you.
Right.
Here, Green Arrow has this idea because some of the oddly cockney DJinn decide that they say their names to depower them, so they change their appearance to make it look like they switch their costumes, which Batman obviously thinks is a dumb idea.
Right.
And it works for a little while, and he makes some crack about how it was a dumb idea, and Green Arrow goes, well, it worked for a little while.
Or Superman. One of them.
Or was it Green Arrow as Superman?
Oh, it probably was. Yeah, right.
But he's like, it worked for a little while, and Conroy just goes, mm-hmm.
That's all it took, but it was worth a laugh.
He just gave me the Laverne from Scrubs.
Yeah.
And it just...
It really was. I didn't think about it. But it really was, like, early on in the episode, sometimes he plays the straight guy, sometimes he's got the punchline. And like when him and the Wizard was actually pretty fun. Like I enjoyed their interaction. Because it's a very terrestrial being, Batman, versus like the guy in charge of the Rock of Eternity.
Yeah, and it's Carl Reiner.
Yeah.
As as the wizard Shazam, and he's just, I was forced to come here where grown mortals dress up as bats.
Right. And he said, like, if I could just find the exit or his doorway or whatever the hell he's calling it, and it's wonderful. Like, their back and forth was great, and then finally they get stuck in the void for a second, and like the wizard doesn't have his powers, and he's helpless, and like he snares him with the grapple gun and a hook, and he's complaining about, like, I told you I didn't need your help. If you want to, I'll drop you off right here. You know what? I'm good. Simple stuff like that, or like later when the whole, I'll call it like part 1, I guess, is wrapped up. There's an ongoing bit about not needing someone's help, and the wizard finally admits, like, I appreciate your help, and Batman just smirks at him and says, your words, not mine. Mm-hmm. Like, this is a show where Batman can actually drop a joke.
Yeah.
And they even mention, I think it's GA says, like, is he being sarcastic? I can't tell when he's being sarcastic.
Yeah. Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah. Or even in that same episode, is where he's possessed, there's a wonderful, I forget who it said was playing Superman, but it's maybe one of the best deliveries of any line in that.
What's crazy is the guy, whoever's playing Superman, I can't remember who's doing it because I saw. But he sounds like Tim Daly.
So like Tim Daly. I looked it up to make sure it wasn't Tim Daly, and then I forgot his name, and I'm sorry, dude. But he has just a wonderful reaction to possessed Batman's trying to pretend he's Batman, get on the watchtower, infiltrate, all that crap, and gets in an elevator, and like the last thing he does before the doors closes, he smiles, and it's creepy, and it's supposed to be, and this Superman just looks at him. They're staring at the elevator door as it's closed, and did you see that smile? It's wonderful, and like Wonder Woman just chimes in, creepy. Yeah, they figure it out pretty quickly. Batman doesn't smile. Apparently he quips and he's sarcastic in this universe, but he's still not a hugger or a smiler, I guess. But the interaction though was just pretty great.
We can't not talk about Booster versus Batman.
That was great.
I'm about half and half. Like, I just rewatched it here. I pretty much remembered Booster being Booster in a negative light, but rewatching it with Jason a second ago, more on board.
I liked it a little
He's
more.
Still a little too dude.
It's a little surfy.
He's a little too Michelangelo from the Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, a little bit. But it's still like Diedrich Bader's fantastic. I mean,
And the Booster Gold One Punch montage was great.
The One Punch montage was great. It's
like he's still not sure. Like, he's like, something's definitely off. Like,
yeah. And with Booster's ego, he'd be like, man, I know I beat him, but how did I beat him? And it would take him a minute to sit there and go, oh, I beat him because he's not even him. Shit. And sure enough, there's this wonderful montage of him looking at previous footage from earlier training sessions, and it's just him walking up. All right, today's the day. I'm going to take the bat down. Pop. Mm-hmm. One hit, one punch montage is what we're calling it.
They did a great a callback to the comics where it was actually like Batman and Wonder Woman, and I can't remember the line. I forgot my notes. At home. But there was an actual bit in the comics where I think Batman took down one in the Watchtower, and they played the same lines here. And I noticed that. I went, wait a minute! I scrolled it down, and now I can't remember the lines from the life of me.
But it's in there, and Dave noticed it.
It was there, and I noticed it. So you want to go to Constantine, the accent exaggeratus spell?
I loved it.
What did he say? We laughed at a second ago. We watched it.
Something about smoldering treacles or some shit. I don't know. Something about treacles.
Oh yeah, treacles.
That's Black Adam. It is.
That's Black Adam. It is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mostly delightful 4-part episode here, guys. I don't know why some of the DJinn were like Cockney DJinn. It was weird, but
I don't know. Sometimes magic people just have to be British.
I enjoyed the first DJinn being taken down by absorbing Manhunter's fire.
That was good.
Weakness.
That was good. And with Manhunter, like, I always expect him to be more stoic, but I'm sitting here bragging about how Batman can be funny here, so I'm not really hating on it. But it was weird to see like Martian kind of leaned up against something. It was like acting casual and aloof. It struck me. It was odd.
We've seen a lot of different versions of Manhunter over the and stoic is usually the one that we're going for. In that terrible CBS pilot or whatever it was David Ogden Stiers from MASH, the guy that played Charles Winchester III, and he was not thin.
No,
it was bad.
It was weird.
But stoic, seems to be where they go with Manhunter.
Like you're watching it going, that's an odd shaped shift. How would you choose exactly that one?
Manhunter's been in America too long.
Yeah.
So he's been eating a little too many cookies.
He does like cookies.
He does like cookies. I've never seen quite this take on John Jones. He's
especially in the context of the show, though. I got nothing against it.
He almost seems in a way Data-esque. Like,
yeah, a little bit.
This is my attempt at humor. How did I do?
You're asking the wrong person.
Oh gosh.
Or I'm the wrong person to ask, whatever it is. It was a good little interaction between him and Batman there.
Mm-hmm. He's almost British without being British. Somehow. Yeah. But they also drew him a lot smaller than they normally. More wiry.
I know. But only a couple people in this one come up. Like Superman's swole, but really everybody else is medium built. And
Cyborg is ridiculously swole.
Yeah, he's big.
Like, Cyborg is just a refrigerator.
He really is. Like, the first time he came on screen, I was like, how does he move?
He basically just looks like the Teen Titans version.
Yeah, a little bit.
Of him.
Giant ass shoulders. Like, seriously, his shoulders are the length of some humans.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we forgot to mention that Batman can translate Constantine's ridiculous.
Yeah. All right.
accent.
So yeah, Constantine shows up wonderfully, and is extremely useful in this show. I'm hoping we get more of him.
And by the way, a kid's show, so he doesn't smoke. He has a
little blow pop or something.
Little blow pop. Yeah.
Gotta have an oral fixation if you're Constantine. He shows up like him and Swamp Thing. Wonderful to have those two around in anything, frankly. And
a little weird when those tinges of Joker come out because it is Hamill doing the voice.
You can hear it here and there, but
still delightful. It's a way
good
to have the Joker without having the Joker,
right?
And also Swamp Thing people. It's kind of brilliant that they're pulling all these people in because they're just getting kids ready for these movies.
Yeah, and they do it's a seamless job of like setting up this kind of fun, playful little universe where you don't take anything too seriously, and like somebody like Eel O'Brien is on screen for a significant portion of time, and you're like, okay.
Yeah, and I can't not hear Master Shake.
I know. I'm sorry. I mean,
I already wasn't a fan of the voice of Plastic Man necessarily, or that take. I kind of thought that Brave and the Bolds was kind of.
It was good.
And
really good. Actually.
It was kind of like Jim Carrey, but now here I'm like, God, I know that voice. It's weird. It's not Plastic Man. And then Jason pointed out, it's Shake from Dana Snyder. I'm like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, and Dana Snyder's one of those people like H. John Benjamin that he's just hired to come be Dana Snyder.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know he's done some variations here and there, especially on the Robot Chicken stuff, but he's just hired to come do his voice.
Like he actually shows up live action on Parks and Rec as like the town attorney or whatever. Like he's like, oh my God, don't say anything. Just do not say you're sorry. Do not use the word victim.
He's been great too in live. Yeah, no, I liked Eel O'Brien's, or I liked Plastic Man. Their little cross-dressing jokes were pretty fun.
The shoes are comfortable.
I'm starting to get used to the shoes. Is that bad? And then later, Wonder Woman's like, are you still wearing my boots? They're comfortable.
What? My question is, why does she have a backup pair of boots?
I don't. The funny part is I thought she should have said like, are you still shifting my boots?
Yeah.
Because he clearly didn't have them. There's a shot where, by the way, in the Climax's action is really great. Great shots in there. Like it was pretty clever action, funny at times, obviously.
Yeah.
And one of the shots though is him kicking one of the guys with this giant like bulldozer-sized boot. So clearly he's not wearing her exact boots.
Yeah, and that shit is like giant and flipped over like the back of his the follow through was ridiculous.
No, yeah, he did it was a soccer kick with like an anvil for a foot. It was good. There was a moment where he like envelops one of them there and he just like makes himself a bag and straps it over their entire face.
Yeah.
Like Swamp Thing grabs it from the back with all his little green tendrils. It was fun.
Yeah. Did you see how many episodes are in the first season?
You've told me before. It's like a ton.
52.
Jesus.
52.
Of course it's. Why?
So yeah. In conclusion, I think we're at a conclusion point. Okay. So in conclusion, Justice League action. It's a lot of fun.
Set your DVDRs. Go watch it with your kid, man.
Yeah. And if you don't have kids, don't worry. We won't judge you for watching it because I'm going to be watching it. It's pretty.
No, I
it's
really
pretty
am.
great.
Like I'm going to put it on my DVR and end of the year, just going to go I might stop and watch a few 10 minutes here and there just for the heck of it. But yeah, it's going to be one of those where like I'm just going to sit down and watch it for a few hours.
Yeah. We won't be going into every episode and doing reviews of that like we do the live action stuff, mainly because we're tired and we're old. We do so much already.
Yeah, there's a lot of live action. They're all like 1 hour.
Yeah.
And we're about to add another half-hour thing maybe.
So
there's another 1 hour coming later.
Yeah, and I hate to say it, but way less people watch the cartoons that could listen to our show.
That's true.
Because of our foul mouths. But
not a lot of 9-year-olds listen to us.
I love the animated stuff. We'll probably come back and do like a season recap at some point.
Yeah,
but we won't be going into every episode.
No. What it looks like I can promise is that the show clearly enjoys itself, and I think if you have a few minutes to waste, we probably will too.
If you're not one of these DC fans who get really angry over the sillyization of DC heroes, if you're not hung up on Frank Miller and think that's the only interpretation, if you want to have fun with your kids and get them into something that they can actually enjoy without worrying about politics in the thing, or Superman being blown up in a courthouse,
whether Batman shoots people. If you just
want
to put all that on the back burner for a damn second and watch a show,
right,
with some characters you kind of love,
it's a lot of fun. I love most of the iterations of these characters. I dig, and I'm really digging this. And it's so far not my favorite thing as far as it's not Justice League Unlimited.
No.
And it's not Batman the Brave and the Bold as some sort of strange love child.
Yeah.
And I'm enjoying it, but I love those other two things way more.
Right now. But they were even geared
so far,
more
4 episodes in
us than this.
Yeah. 4 episodes in. I'm definitely checking it out. Go forth, check it out. If you're one of those that has to watch something before your kids watch it, well, goody for you because you get to watch it twice. Because it's perfect. It'll be fun.
There's probably some background jokes that you'll pick up.
But that's it. I'm going to pee.
Do that.
We are DC On Screen. You can find every episode at DCOnScreen.com. We're proud members of the Giant Size Team Up Network, GiantSizeTeamUp.com. Proud members of the Batman Podcast Network. Oh, gosh. We're going to be coming back next week with more news. Whatever is going on there. There's been a new Justice League picture leaked. We're going to talk about that. There are 3 people in it. A Flash, a Batman, and a Wonder Woman. And that's about all we can say.
That's all we're sure about.
But yeah, more news next week. Until then, keep some DC on your screen.